18 degrees at 7 a.m. and the workers are already here. A little bit of ice out there on the Broads off Quincy. Let's head out the door, team. Team, down the stairs. Come on, let's go. Steve, are you going to be joining us this time? That was funny yesterday. Maybe. We'll see. Steve, you're looking a little indifferent. T-Rex, are you excited to go out? Can you jump up 1, 2, 3 times and run out the door barking? 4, 5. That's affirmative. No problem with that, right? What do you know? It's windy. But again, just a slight degree less windy than yesterday. About the same temperature. And the sky is totally blue. Oh boy, there's Mitt. Mitt, we know that you don't want to come out, but thanks for showing yourself because the audience loves a Mitt sighting. And we'll walk out. I got my wireless lavalier on. I'm sure there's some wind noise interference. And we've got heavy equipment in the mud again this morning, picking out the best rocks. And what they do also is pump the water out. They pump the water out to dig their ditch to put the boulders down. They're rebuilding our seawall, in case you're new here. We've got the Slurpee waves. Yesterday I called them slush. I forget they're called Slurpee waves this morning. Planes are landing toward the northwest into the wind. And we're looking over into the wind. Another morning with a little bit of ice that'll be blown out this morning. And the sun is on the flag. The flag got a reprieve. We get one more day with this flag. It's coming down today. And I appreciate all your concern for all these bushes and everything. Yeah, change is hard, but changes are not permanent, but change is. There go the birds. And it's another icy morning. Very fascinating what's happening in New England with warmer air coming in from the north. We talked about it yesterday, a backdoor warm front. And the temperature on Mount Washington this morning was 15 degrees below zero at 2 a.m. And then by 7 a.m. it was +6. The temperature went up 21 degrees on the summit of Mount Washington with a wind from the north this morning. That is rather unusual, but that's what happens when you have North Atlantic blocking. Those storms send the warmer air all the way around into eastern Canada and then down into northern New England. And here's the surface temperature map with the wind gusts this morning. In northern Maine, it was 5 to 10 degrees. And then you get to St. Johnsbury, Vermont, it's 5 below zero. And interesting that in Boston, it's about the same temperature as yesterday, but the wind's only gusting in the 20s instead of the 30s. And I was going to say, it's interesting, read the snow report this morning, and it's -12 on Mount Mansfield. So it's 18 degrees colder at the summit of Mount Mansfield than it is on the summit of Mount Washington. There is an inversion setting up, and Weir is chasing. He's looking for optical phenomena this morning. Yesterday, there was some optical phenomena. Who got this? I can't remember, but that's when you have refraction of the sunlight off of the ice crystals. I think this was one of my friends in Vermont. I'll put your name in there. Was it Vec? He said, it looks like a rainbow. Yeah, it looks like a rainbow, but it's actually from ice crystals, so there's no rain involved. But so that happens with an inversion in very cold air and a little bit of moisture down low. So Steve's was at the door. Now he's gone back out, but T-Rex is at the door, and he's kind of saying, can I go back in? And I guess you can go back in. So kind of like a hockey game here where players have to go to the bench. Yesterday, Rex went to the bench and Steve came back on the ice. Literally, we've got ice. Yeah. Want to do the ice bucket challenge this morning? So it's not just a forecast here. It's sort of a story. It's a half hour or 20 to 25 minute show where we talk about nature and weather and do the analysis and fun things that you don't see in the other weathercasts. And again, it's for people that have a lot of time on their hands. So we got a solid 8 inches of ice in that bucket. And today, the crews are showing up, and we're going to lose our backyard. I don't know how I'm going to come out the door tomorrow. They're going to put some wood down on the ground so that they don't completely ruin the yard when they rebuild the wall. So let's do the weather forecast. Start off with some analysis. This morning, Jim Cantori got the purple pen out, and he showed that the sub-zero wind chills cover from New England all the way down to about Texas and up into the west side of the Rockies. And he said some of the wind chills in Montana and North Dakota are 50 below zero. Well, it's not too difficult to get a wind chill of 50 below zero when the actual temperature is 40 below zero. That's what it is this morning in parts of Montana and North Dakota and Saskatchewan. So it's even colder a little bit than yesterday because of radiational cooling. That is a 1050 millibar Arctic high pressure system there that stretches from Canada all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, where there is a big storm brewing right now. And the wind is a result of that high moving air from the high to the low, and the low is actually way out east of Greenland at 950 millibars. So there is a 100 millibar pressure gradient from the North Atlantic to the northern plains in central North America, where we have the coldest February 19th sunrise ever from Canada to the Mexico border this morning. Just hundreds of record low temperatures. So we talked about this for a long time, and on the periphery of the Arctic cold, you get the storms, and there is one on the backside of that big high. There it is in the upper left on this analysis from WPC. And that low, bringing stormy weather to the northwest United States and southwestern Canada, is going to sort of disintegrate into pieces, and part of it's going to go into Canada, and another part of it's going to go to the Gulf of Mexico. So that's not going to be a bodily system that crosses from coast to coast. So we had about 3 of them in the last week, and the one that's coming out of the Gulf of Mexico is the last of these series of storms from our parade of Pacific storms for the time being to close out February. So what is this storm going to do coming out of the Gulf of Mexico? Well, Henry in Tennessee this morning, in Cleveland, Tennessee, he says, we have 2 inches of snow here, and there was not even a winter weather advisory. So already some people are getting surprised with where it is snowing from this system. And of course, a tremendous amount of rain too. At least that rain is south of where we had the dramatic flooding. Last week. It's very cold. It's probably refreezing. So this system is still a moving target. We've been talking about it for a week. At one point, it was supposed to be this big storm right over us. And now it's going to be a big storm over the water. But it's not an easy situation because there's an upper level low that's going to be kind of steering it between the storm over to the ocean and the high to our west. There's an upper level low in here, which complicates things a little bit. And that's part of that colder west and south than it is north. And a backdoor warm front, an upper level low, and an ocean storm. And here's the NAM 3K going forward with today just some blotches of snow showing up there in southern Canada, maybe a few snowflakes in northern New England. And it kind of falls apart, that front in the north. This little trough disintegrates. Now you see some snow forming over New York and Connecticut. Tomorrow, and then tomorrow night, there's the storm going south of Cape Cod, and the snow kind of consolidates into the Cape Cod and the Islands area. That's tomorrow night around midnight, and then a few snowflakes possible just about anywhere, and then that pulls out on Friday morning. And Friday, you get the black lines and the blue lines. The black lines are isobars tightening up. It's going to be a very windy and cold Friday, a little bit more like yesterday than today on Friday. That'll be our 3rd Friday in a row with Arctic winds and chill. And that sets the stage, though, for a nice weekend. After that, things are going to improve. It looks like a really nice weekend for skiing, even though the week has been frigid. But there's plenty of snow, that's for sure. This morning, I checked the webcams at Jay Peak, where we're seeing all those images of snow up to the first floor windows, and there was some white air. So white air counts as diamond dust snow. So today is 51 day in a row of snow somewhere in New England. And then tomorrow will be 52, and Friday, before the sun comes up, will be 53, and then the streak may end. We may be seeing the end of this streak where it snowed at least a little somewhere in New England every single day since New Year's Eve. Gull and ice. And the models, again, are all over the place. I like to defer sometimes to content Phil guy, talking about getting the markers out. He got the markers out. He gets the markers out all the time. He doesn't really look at models too much. He just looks at what's going on, and he says there's a vast resource of Arctic chill across most of North America, and you've got the warming happening, the natural warming as we head towards spring near the Gulf of Mexico. And he says he can see perhaps this setup for a superstorm in March. And he's not one to jump on this storm's bandwagon, but I kind of see what he's talking about there. And there are a couple of threats over the next couple of weeks as February turns into March. Kind of obsessed like a kid. Every kid likes to watch big machines, even if the kid is 61 years old. These guys, Luciano, start early, get it done. And let's go to what model are we going to use today? The Euro, I guess. The GFS shows a major storm next week. The Euro shows kind of a storm. And of course, it's on a Thursday and a Friday. It's always on a Thursday and a Friday, isn't it? Oh, time out just to check Steve. What are you doing, Steve? Getting a little caught in this ice. Not much traction for you. I'll be looking at that guidance here in a second. I'm going to change my focus to a half zoom. It's kind of fun watching the cat. Okay, you're just going to sit there. He's going to head over in that direction. Those are some bunny rabbit fossil prints fossilized in the ice from it came through when it was slush last week. So that's pretty fun, huh? And we'll be in the moor looking at prints. Here's the Euro, sorry. So I would say just a dusting of snow is possible anywhere tomorrow night. Let's look at this tropical sector here because it really shows how this storm goes off of South Carolina. This is the Northwest Atlantic here. And the storm goes off South Carolina tomorrow evening as about 1,009 millibar low, and then as it crosses between Nantucket and Bermuda, you see some patches of snow with the upper level low on the left there, and about midnight tomorrow night it's consolidating and deepening, and it ends up going to about 977, passing New England, so that's a deepening of about 31 millibars in 24 hours, so it's still bombogenesis, just not quite as dramatic as yesterday, so we're gonna have surprises from that one, and then that pulls out, and the isobars tighten up for Friday, and then they're going to loosen up. So let's switch over to the lower 48 perspective, and we can see it. There's that storm in the northwest, you see in the upper left there, kind of falling apart as it crosses the nation, but that'll leave pieces of energy that we'll have to monitor over the next week. And all eyes are on that southeastern storm with the snow coming right up to the coast here, Virginia, North Carolina again, and kind of hopefully just sparing the areas that were devastated by the flood a few days ago. So this is what, the third major storm in a row to go from the Pacific to the Atlantic, and then it pulls out, and it's off our map, and it's still deepening down through the 960s, incidentally, on Friday. And that's when our isobars tighten up, and that very cold, high-pressure system is getting closer to us. And our coldest morning and coldest day is actually going to be Friday night and Saturday morning. And with radiational cooling, we may set some record low temperatures on Saturday, but with the sun coming up and a fairly tranquil flow with the air coming in from the west, by afternoon, we're probably well into the 30s in southern New England. And then we watch to the parts of western Canada and the western United States are record warm at this point, but we have these fronts coming at us from Canada, and there's a little bit of a clipper trying to come through here late Sunday into Monday, and no sign of that ocean storm, which had been teased here for Monday and Tuesday. We thought that was very low confidence, so there's no sign of that anymore. But now you have an Arctic front pressing south. You see it coming at us from the north there on Wednesday, and here comes something up from the Gulf of Mexico next Wednesday night and Thursday. Of course it's a Thursday, and what is that? A 997 low going right over southeastern New England next Thursday and a Friday? What a tease. This will be the third Thursday or fourth Thursday in a row, Friday, that we have something like this trying to go by with a wintry mix and a powerful storm followed by a new batch of cold Arctic air coming in to greet us as March would come in like a lion at that point. And with another system just up to the north, now this goes out to 240 hours. What's that, Friday, February 28th, and there's another system, or Saturday, March 1st, somewhere in there, and there's another system there in south central Canada, and we are the coldest spot in the nation, and that threat of a March superstorm exists when you have such cold air around and you're into climatological spring and the Gulf of Mexico is opened up, and so we'll be watching. Content Phil Guy in Plymouth, Massachusetts, already started the clock on that, so you can follow him on X too, also. All right, that's the end of the weather part. The end more features me just watching the construction in the backyard, and the crew came over yesterday and kind of marked out what they're going to do for us, and they said, oh, we'll take down your flagpole, and I said, well, I kind of am sentimental value. I'm going to lose that base, so the whole base of the flagpole is just wood I found that was floating around, and I kind of rigged that all up, and there's two half-inch bolts going through there. I'll feature this in the more tomorrow, but so the end more from yesterday, just bearing with the wind and not going out too much, and what else? Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? It's going to throw in some commentary from our friends up at Jay Peak, where it's the whole world's talking about how much snow Jay Peak has. Vex says he's going to probe, and he put it down before this most recent storm, and there were 90 inches. So the base depths up on in the high country of Jay Peak are about 100, and they've tallied about 336. Oh my goodness, 336 inches season, but that's not a base depth. So our friends up at Jay and Sterling walking his dog called T-Rex and measuring the snow that's out there on the side of the road there near Sterling's place in Jay. So some TK and some Beck and some Jay and some Josh. Josh is the one always in the trees with the skis on, and Beck is one of the snowboarders. Wow, it is a busy morning around here, isn't it? Thanks for tuning in. And oh yeah, I was supposed to write the J blog yesterday. The day got away from me. I'm going to write a new J blog this morning, actually, before I edit, so this edit's probably a little late. Here's the and more from yesterday. Thanks for watching. Another perfect morning to stay cozy and indoors. There's a cat there in that cover there, because outdoors is just brutal again today. It's a brighter day, but the wind is just as strong. And it's a work day once again. There they are, hard at it. Wind chill of about 0 in the mud. Yuck. The flagpole's coming down. I get some passive solar heating on a T-Rex. You can help bring the flagpole down, or am I on my own on that one? Yeah. Icicle weather for sure. Good February sun. Sub-freezing temperatures. Breaking news, a chairlift just opened at Stowe, Sunrise. Still just about as cold, tiny bit less windy. And I forgot what those waves were called. Slurpy waves. Forming ice on rocks despite February sunshine, which we all know is really nice sunshine.
Look at him go, look at him go. Whoa! 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 That's it. 3, 2, 1, see ya. Yeah! Woo!
Man, that was a brave parking job there. You get a lot of faith in his four-wheel. He's helping me break it up. Break up that ice. Let's break it up the ice. And the sun is working a little bit of magic down here too. Gradually. It's as much sublimating as it is sort of melting. I think I might be able to make it up here today. Yep. What are the kind of creatures do we see up here, Rex? Don't recognize any of these prints. Kind of old. Some fall through, some don't. See a shadow. Is that a bird? Leave. What would that be? A four-legged something pretty small. Someone's cat, maybe? No. It's a paw print. Maybe a tiny little... Do we have foxes? I don't know. So Rex is pretty much walking on top of the surface of the snow. This thing's been hanging on due to the clematis or kudzu or whatever that is, swallowwort, that pretty much killed the tree. But keeping it from falling to the ground. Waves, everything's in waves. Whoa, they can be scary. Whoa, that critter path we were following before. Raccoon? Eric, this isn't a skunk, right? Eric is our biologist. It's our out the door with our more biologist. They usually disappear around here. Gotta get you down here and help me with this, Eric. Deer, moving slowly. I don't think we have moose. And speaking of flags in disrepair, There. It's like walking on ice and you keep falling through. It's not that fun, Rex, is it? Should we go the other way? There are the moulins. That's what the pattern is when rain falls on snow and it makes its own drainage. Moulins. Poor Rex. Let's go the other way, Rex. How do you like walking on this stuff? If it was regular snow, he'd be running around and rolling in it. But instead, it's a weird surface where you can take a few steps on top and then you fall through. What'd you find down there, Rex? Liking the snow? You're liking that, huh? My fingers are freezing. What do you say we take it back inside? He just won't give me a good pose with his head in the sun. Rex, turn around. Come this way. Rex, this way. There he goes. He's trying to get his... He's trying to do it in the snow. Want me to help you, Rex? Here you go. I'll give you a start. There you go. "25 degrees, finger freezing cold, even in the February sun." Wow, there's a big print. That's a big one. 2 p.m. update. There's a lone eider. Just went under that murky water. Water murky. Slurpy waves have gone away. Being replaced with the sludgy waves. Blah. Rotates too. Spinning rocket. Spinning rocks. Eider's back. That's a choice one. That's going on top tomorrow, no doubt. Put them in his lap. Fingers are frozen. What's new? Come on, sunshine.
Just to give you an idea of how much snow we had over here at Jay. So this is about, let's see, here it is. I'll fit across. Rib high. That is rib high snow. That's not drift. That's full on like just rib high snow. Pretty crazy if you ask me. But T-Rex here, he's enjoying it. Aren't you, T-Rex? So yeah, so I'm enjoying it. So hopefully to see you out here soon.
Yeah, I know. It's closing in on 5 o'clock. You usually like to go outside. Mito, I think we should just stay inside this time, though. It's too cold. Look at those waves. Oh, I don't want to stand looking at the sunset again today with freezing fingers, so I'll just show you what that looks like from the warm inside. The wind is still going past 30 miles an hour and it's only about 24 degrees. They were out there working. The slurpy waves accumulated into that. And the tide looked like it just maxed and is going out again. And we did get a reprieve on the flagpole. It gets one more night before it gets relocated. So here's the time lapse from the day here in Weymouth. You see the machine working right in front of the house. Not too many clouds, nice dry air coming in. Gotta find a way to keep the days in a row of snow going. Maybe a backdoor warm front in northern New England. Is it snowing out? Bet it is somewhere. I think we made day 51. If not, quite a run. Talk to you tomorrow. The lone eider surfing.